สวัสดีครับ
ผมดูดีครับ
ผมเดียวครับ
ครับกลับมาพบกับกีตาร์ไทยทีวีนะครับใน Interview Channel นะครับซึ่งวันนี้เราจะพาท่านผู้ชมไปพบกับกีตาร์ท่านหนึ่งสายเมโลดี้เมทัลนะครับเป็นใครครับคุณเดียวครับ
เขาผู้นั้นชื่อว่าไมเคิล โรมิโอครับแห่งวง Symphony X นั่นเองครับพี่
ครับผมเขามาเปิดคอนเสิร์ตในเมืองไทยนะครับเมื่อวันที่ 20 กุมภาพันธ์ที่ผ่านมานะครับและเราได้รับเกียรติทาง Virtual Music นะครับให้เราได้เข้าไปสัมภาษณ์ไมเคิล โรมิโอนะครับก็เป็นเรื่องเกี่ยวกับอะไรบ้างครับที่เราได้
วันนั้นเป็นเรื่องของการทั้งเรื่องของการเล่น
ครับ
อุปกรณ์
ครับ
แล้วก็ไอเดีย
ครับก็น่าสนใจแล้วใช่ไหมครับจากที่หัวข้อคร่าวๆที่เรา
ผมว่าถ้ายังไงเราพาท่านผู้ชมไปชมกันเลยดีกว่าไหมครับ
ครับผมไปติดตามชมกันเลยครับ
ครับไป
So man?
Yeah. First question, how do you feel about this trip to Thailand?
It's good, man. Everything's great. You know the only thing I don't like about the touring thing is the flights. I hate flying. You know, so here it was like a big trip, 14 hours. But once we're here, I'm good. You know, and the shows have been great, audiences have been great, and everything's been good.
Yeah. Have you any idea to think about to make a concept album like in this album has the one song.
Oh, the whole album, one song?
Yeah, the whole album. Maybe 30 minutes or for more than.
Nah, we never really thought about something like that. I mean, we could do it, but it's weird. It's like every album for us is different. You know what I mean? Like we'll spend a little bit of time before we do anything just talking about what we wanted to do. Like for this record, The Paradise Lost, it was, before I really got any riffs together, we just, we'll sit and we'll just say, what are we going to do? And for this one, it was like, let's do something a little more heavy, something a little more brutal, a little more metal. And then it just goes from there.
Like we know the first song of Paradise Lost, yes, of Oculus and Symphony. It looked like a skull film. How can you start to writing this song?
I think that comes from like the film music, that kind of thing. I mean, I love, I love movies. It's like the thing I'll do, like when we're not touring or whatever. I'm a big movie fan. So, and I love like all the film composers, John Williams, Jerry Goldsmith, Alan Silvestri. I love all those guys. So I think some of that's where some of that stuff comes from. Especially when we started talking about Paradise Lost and doing this more grand, epic thing. And it's like, the music will be, freaking heavy, brutal riffs and good choruses, but also kind of incorporating some of that Lord of the Rings soundtrack thing, something where, but even a little more darker than some of that stuff. I remember, like with the Oculus, listening to like the score from The Omen. And it had all the male choirs, and it's friggin' dark as hell, So I think listening to some of that and just what we do, the metal stuff, kind of mixing it up, that's where that came from.
Did you write it from guitar part in the first time?
No, not for that stuff. I mean, with the orchestral stuff, it might start like just like a simple line on paper, and then I'll start to build it. Sometimes on paper, and then sometimes I'll just go on the computer and try to work it out. It's always different.
In this album, you also work as a producer or player and sound engineer.
Yeah, it sucks. Sucks doing all that.
How can you think about this song is good enough for this song to make no adjustment?
I mean, I think we all know. All of us, the band. I mean, it will start with maybe like Serpent's Kiss was like one of the songs early on, and it was just the riff, that. It was just that riff with, bullshit drum beat.
Yeah.
And we're listening to it and we're like, oh, that's fucking cool. Let's go with that. So, you build it, and then you'll add some of the verse stuff, and you're doing some different things, and then, when you get to a point when you're listening back, we all kind of look around. It's like, hey, I mean, to put anything else in there would probably, fuck it up or be too much. It's just like there's just too much shit in there.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think all of us, from doing it for so long, we kind of know. I think now more than ever we know when it's good or when we have to add stuff or even take stuff away. There's even stuff that we'll take out.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's just too cluttered, man. There's too much shit there. Let's pull it out.
Yeah.
And I mean, with time, I think any band is like that. Over time, you just kind of develop, the skills in the studio and what you're looking for and
Yeah.
what sounds the best.
The next question is about what are your equipment that you're using today?
But now I'm using I've got two angles there. I have the Powerball. The Powerball has the 4 channels, so that's like my main head.
Yeah.
And then the Fireball that was the head I first had from Angle, and I really loved it. So then I got the Powerball after that. But the Fireball runs the other, it's left and right, so it's stereo. So the Fireball's running left,
It's like
the right
stereo.
side. Right. And Angle cabs, and I'm using the TCG system
Yeah.
for like whatever the chorus and delay and all that shit. And and then the comparison, it's like they did my model. They built it, and then I sent them some basic specs. And I actually sent them an old neck I had that I really liked from an old Kramer guitar I had for years.
And how about Stombox?
I have like the acoustic simulator over there. I don't know what the hell model it is. I'll check it out. And like a tube screamer, like like maybe if it's like a crunch setting, maybe a little tube screamer.
Got your tube screamer?
I mean, that's it. I used to have like all kinds of stop boxes, a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
The G system, everything's in there. It has the pedal board. It's all easy to use. I'm all about ease, making it easy.
You have such a good digital.
What?
The big sound for
Oh,
the
the
guitar.
sound.
Yeah. How can you adjust?
I don't know. I just, a lot of it is the guitar. A lot is the pickups. A lot is the amp. I mean, a lot of it's the fingers too. It really is. It's like, I could buy the same guitar and pickups as like whoever, some other guy. And it just ain't gonna sound the same. You know what I mean? It's definitely a lot in the fingers. But what I did when I was younger, I was friendly with the guys in this guitar store in town. And every week or two, I'd go in, I'd bring my guitar, and I'd say, let me try that pickup and this one. And I'd try that for a week, and I'd bring it back if I didn't like it. And I did that for a while. And then I found the X2N. It's freaking loud, it's pretty aggressive, and the tone zone, it's a little smoother, a little warmer. And this configuration I've had like forever. It's the one I thought it was pretty versatile for me. This one definitely is pretty heavy, a lot of output. And this one's a little warmer, it's a little smoother, so it's, for me, that works. So I think any guitar player looking to get his sound together, you just have to experiment. It's the only way. Try different things, just try everything.
Yeah. Can you show me about your lick or your style to play?
My style?
To show your sound for guitar sound.
Yeah, just play whatever, any old thing, or... Tap lick. There's a lot of delay from the room, Yeah, it's hard to hear. It's like an echo chamber in here, man.
Very cool. Why you choose to play comparison guitar?
A friend of mine they were using comparisons. And I was playing it, and it felt really good. I'm like, oh, that's freaking nice. The neck felt good, everything felt good. So I got in touch with the company, and they said, they said, we'll make you, whatever you want. And like I said, I sent them the old Kramer neck I had, which I really liked, and I played it since I was like 16, forever. I had this guitar. And it was that and a little bit of a Strat mix, the neck. So they did some different tests, and they sent me some things, and I was like, yeah, it's great. A basic Strat body, and then that pickup thing, the X2N, and the tone zone. It's it's solid. This thing, I beat the shit out of this thing. And it's great, ready to go.
You decide this your model by yourself?
Yeah, I don't know if I would say I designed it. I'm not like, all with the measurements and all that stuff. I sent them the neck that I liked, 2 necks. A Strat neck that I liked and the Kramer neck. And I said for the body, just like a basic Strat kind of body with the Floyd Rose.
Yeah.
And one volume, that's it. You don't need a tone. I don't use a tone.
You know tone.
It's like you never freaking use a thing. And a three-way switch, and yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple, but they did a lot with the neck.
Yeah.
You know, the grip is nice. You know, it's really comfortable. You know, I could play this thing forever. You know, and some of the other guitars I had, the necks were a little thinner, and I noticed, like, if you first pick it up, you know, you play pretty good. It's like fast neck. It's like, oh yeah, it's fast. But like from playing like this, you know, for holding my hand like this for a long time, is like cramp or whatever. Like, you know, what the hell? And this has a little more of a natural, you know, like a natural grip. So for me, it's like, it's just, my hand just sits in there. You know, it's really comfortable. I mean, I think anybody who tried it would, you know, after like 10 minutes, it's like, oh yeah, it's fucking, it feels a little bit big at first, but no.
And now today you still practice?
I mean, not like I used to when I was young. I mean, when I was younger, when I was first learning, I practiced all the time, man. You know, every day, 8 hours with the metronome, and I grew up with all that stuff too. You know, it's like Randy Rhoads was the first guy, you know, and then there was Demiola and you had Malmsteen and Uli Roth and a lot of the shrapnel guys were out, like Paul Gilbert, you know, Steve Vai, of course. So you had, for me, growing up, I mean, all those guys were really, you know, a lot of that was happening. So I practiced a lot, you know, Van Halen, you know, just all that stuff. And now, I mean, I think I'm at the point now where I'm pretty comfortable. If I hear something, I could play it, and if I can't, I'll practice. You know, I think I spend more time just playing and writing.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll practice. You know, if I'm, you know, if I feel like I'm sucking, you know, like I'm not, you know, a little rusty, I'll practice for, you know, a couple of days and go over some picking things and some whatever. But no, I mean, I play a lot, so I think that keeps everything smooth and fluid, you know, and still being creative at the same time. You know, I mean, you can only freaking practice scales up and down for so long. I mean, you know. So I mean, I got that shit out of the way early, you know, when I was young, and then, you know, now it's just more about playing. You know, it's working with the band, writing. You know, coming up with some new weird thing. You know, I mean, every album I'll try to. I mean, that's the thing I will try to practice. Yeah. Try to find. That's something maybe I didn't do before, like on this album, Eva Seduction, that song has some, like this chromatic, freaking hijinks, you know, so that song I would, you know, I look at the solo part and I'd be like, yeah, you know, I could just do some normal thing, but maybe I'll try something a little different, and then you just noodle around, you're like, next thing you know, you have this thing. Whatever, sucking.
Okay.
Gotta practice.
Can you give me about some of your technique or some of your lessons for your fan?
Some of my techniques? Mr. Pinella, what are some of my techniques? 1 and 2. Some of my techniques. Let me see. I know. I do a lot. You know, when I was young, like a lot of the guys were doing the arpeggios, that kind of thing. And after a while, it's like, man, you know, you can only do so much. You know, up and down. It was always up and down. And then I would try to do stuff like maybe taking a piece. And after a while, that's like, yeah, whatever. And then I started to think how I could tap some of the notes. So like maybe by adding a 7th, like that kind of pattern, which you can get some different patterns going around. So you get more than just the up and down, you know, and then you can do the major 7, right? Dominant 7. Diminish. I think tapping, sometimes I'll do patterns that like are harder to do than you pick, or even like just legato. You know, sometimes it's just like things you couldn't do if you didn't tap them, and you just come up with cool things like, yeah, like this. so hard to play that fast with the pick. It would just be hard to do. So I think, yeah, that's the thing I do a lot. I'll find something that you could play with the pick and it might be awkward and sound like shit, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then, like, yeah, by trying to tap or string skip or doing something, some technique just to make the notes cool, and then you kind of, you just find new ways to do things. You know, it's definitely, it keeps, you know, for me, I think it keeps it interesting, you know? You know, all the, you know, there's always solos in every song and everything, so I think if you don't try to find some new way to make it exciting just for yourself, even, you know, for me, that's what I'll do. I'll find a couple songs on the album where I'll look for something cool to do, you know, something different, you know.
Maybe I have to practice more for playing like
a little bit, man. Just a little bit.
This is so funny question. Has anybody ever told you that your song so super difficult? It's hard to play.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of them are. I mean, there's definitely some songs that are harder than others.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, yeah, we don't think about that stuff. You know what I mean? We really don't. It's like we just kind of just go with the song. You know, and I mean, you know, we're all. You know, we all practice, you know, when we're younger, I think all of us practice a lot. You know, we all keep up with each other. So, I mean, we don't think about whether it's hard or not. You know, we just try to do what's cool, you know, what sounds good.
The right question. Do you have anything to say to your fan on guitarthai.com or any suggestions?
Yeah, I mean, suggestions, I mean, as far as playing, it's like, you know, it's a pretty standard thing, but it's all really true, like to practice a lot, you know, and to don't give up and be determined to do it. And, you know, I mean, playing guitar is like anything else. You have to have some kind of discipline to do what you want to do. You know, you have to set some kind of goal, you know, of what you want to do, and then just work towards it, you know. I mean, when I was young, I was, you know, average guitar guy, and I think a lot of it too, man, is the stuff that you listen to. You know, I didn't listen to just one guy. I didn't even just listen to like guitar players. I listened to everything. You know, and it's like, you know, yeah, like with the metal stuff, you know, there's a lot of different bands, and you get some ideas for different riffs. Sabbath, you know, fucking classic riffs. And Randy Rhoads was the guy that kind of brought me into the guitar stuff. But, you know, I didn't just listen to him. I listened to all these other guys, and they all had their own techniques. And even it's like, you know, it could be anything, classical or jazz. I mean, I think you can take away something from any of those things and learn more and, you know, do more. So, yeah, man, that's my thing. Like, don't be narrow-minded about, you know, I only like fucking this band. It's like, well, dude, you know, there's like 10 million other things to listen to. You know, but if you just want to play friggin' one note, then that's cool. Go listen to that stuff. But if you want to, you know, really be expressive and creative and say a lot with your instrument, I think the more you listen to, the better you'll be able to do that. You know, for me anyway. It works for me, man. So.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much for giving me your time.
No problem, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
Right on, dude. I gotta practice that lick now because I fucking tanked it before. There it is, fuckers.
โอเคครับงั้นเราลาไปก่อนนะครับครับผมเป็นยังไงกันบ้างครับบทสัมภาษณ์วันนั้นเป็นไงบ้างครับพี่
โอ้แจ๋วตื่นเต้นด้วย
ครับ
ได้ทั้งความรู้ได้ทั้งไอเดียนะครับ
ผมยอมรับเลยครับผมตื่นเต้นมากครับอยู่หน้าฮีโร่เลยครับ
คือเขาเล่นอย่างไม่ยั้งเลยเราก็เล่นเต็มที่มีอะไรก็ใส่ออกมา
ใช่ครับ
เป็นคอนเสิร์ตที่น่าประทับใจสมกับการรอคอย10 ปีนะครับ
ครับ
ยังไงในวันนี้เราก็ต้องขอบพระคุณบริษัท Vertical Music นะครับซึ่งเป็นผู้จัดคอนเสิร์ตและอำนวยความสะดวกให้ทางกีตาร์ไทยได้เข้าสัมภาษณ์
และ
นะครับ
ก่อนจะจากกันไปในเทปนี้ครับผมยังมีอีกหนึ่งเพลงเป็นภาพบรรยากาศคอนเสิร์ตณวันนั้นมาให้ชมกันด้วยครับ
ก็ตัดมาให้ชม
ครับผม
นะครับแล้วก็ก่อนจะจากกันไปนะครับ ก็คอยติดตามชมอินเทอร์วิวช anel นะครับในครั้งต่อไปซึ่งก็มีบางส่วนได้ตัดต่อเสร็จแล้วนะครับ
ครับ
เป็นศิลปินต่างประเทศด้วยนะครับ
ครับ
ก็งั้นวันนี้ก็ขอสวัสดีแต่เพียงเท่านี้นะครับ
สวัสดีครับ